Toys R Us was once America's biggest toy retailer, and despite the reputation built upon years of service, Toys R Us failed to understand the shift of values in consumers. To understand Toys R Us's fall, it is necessary to start from the beginning. In 1948, a man named Charles Lazarus returned from World War II with a vision. His vision was a baby goods and furniture store that he expected to expand rapidly with the expected baby boom brought about due to World War II. His store was located in Washington, D.C. and was called Children's Bargain Town. In 1957, Children's Bargain Town was rebranded under the name Toys R Us and began its entry into the toy industry. As Toys R Us gained popularity over the years, spin-offs of the brand were established. In 1983, Kids R Us was opened as a kids' clothing brand, and in 1995, Babies R Us was opened to sell baby clothes. Toys R Us was the best place for both kids and parents to find any toy they wanted. Customers knew without a doubt that Toys R Us had the most popular and desired toys. One example of popular products offered at Toys R Us were Easy Bake Ovens. The popularity of Easy Bake Ovens has maintained throughout the years. Different versions of the products can be seen over the years. The first picture is of an Easy Bake Oven from the 60s. The second is from the 2000s, and the last is the most recent version of an Easy Bake Oven. A second example of a popular product sold at Toys R Us were Barbie dolls. Barbie has always been a basic toy that many children own, especially little girls. And Toys R Us understood the value consumers held towards Barbie dolls and offered many versions that matched the demographic. This can be seen in the first picture, where the Barbie dolls reflect the popular hairstyles of the period. In the second picture, Toys R Us sold Barbie dolls that were associated with Barbie movies that were being released at the time. Potato Head is a third example of a popular toy sold at Toys R Us. The first picture is of a potato head in the 60s. However, the most popular model of this toy is the 2000s version displayed in the second picture. And Toys R Us helped to facilitate the popularity of this product and turn it into the iconic toy it is today. Toys R Us knew not only what to sell to their customers, but also how to advertise to them as well. The following are commercials aired by Toys R Us that demonstrate their understanding of what customers perceive as valuable.
I don't want to grow up, I'm Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid. We got the best for so much less, you really could fill it. From bikes to friends to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. Gee whiz! I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, it's all I did. I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys, oh fun! I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
So you guys all have ultra superpowers?
Yep,
And you fight an evil monkey bent on ruling the world?
that's about the size of it.
Wow, a talking monkey. What'll they think of next?
Toys R Us is the place for fun this summer in the Powerpuff Girls movie Summer Sweepstakes. Starting June 28th, see any PG or G-rated film at a Regal, UA, or Edwards Cinema and receive a Powerpuff Girls movie game piece while supplies last. Scan it at any participating Toys R Us to see if you won $1 million or other great prizes. The Powerpuff Girls movie opens July 3rd. Rated PG.
So you guys all have...
When evaluating the monopoly power Toys R Us held over American consumers, their collapse is a little shocking. However, there were signs that change was occurring. One of these signs was the growth of Amazon. The existence of Amazon created a shift towards online shopping. Toys R Us responded to this shift, but the response showed how much they underestimated the impact online shopping would bring. To respond to the emergence of online shopping, Toys R Us launched a 10-year partnership with Amazon in which it paid Amazon $50 million a year plus a percentage of sales to be the exclusive seller for toys and baby products. However, this partnership created unintended consequences. The agreement led to Toys R Us having no autonomous online presence, and customers who tried to visit Toys R Us online were redirected to Amazon. And with no autonomous online presence, Toys R Us customers would reconstruct their association to the brand. However, Amazon was not the only business that challenged Toys R Us's monopoly power. Walmart did as well. Toys R Us was built around its low prices and various assortments, but Walmart did it better. The threat of Walmart was so great that all Kids R Us stores were closed in 2000 3 since the store could not keep up with Walmart's clothing prices. I remember a point in my own life when my parents began to shop for toys for my sister and I at Walmart instead of Toys R Us. The chart on the upper left corner displays the online sales of toys and baby products in the year 2016, which is the year before Toys R Us declared bankruptcy. The chart on the bottom right corner displays the change in consumer spending for Toys R Us from 2014 to 2017. These charts effectively demonstrate Toys R Us's failure to maintain their monopoly power against competition. However, Toys R Us's downfall cannot be entirely blamed on external factors. There were internal issues that led to its downfall as well. One of their internal issues was their large retail space and jam-packed inventory. This was once their biggest asset, but as the appeal of large retail stores was waning, the size of most Toys R Us's became burdensome. Customers no longer saw value in the size of the store. It was burdensome to spend hours in Toys R Us looking for toys, and the joy of buying toys became an annoyance instead. The amount of toys in the stores was overwhelming to customers who only desired to spend a short amount of time in the store. Serial mismanagement was another issue damaging Toys R Us. Toys R Us employees were found to be manipulating customer surveys. Manipulation of these surveys is a major issue because customer surveys serve as an important metric to Toys R Us's home office. Employees did this to hide figures from upper management to prevent themselves from being laid off. Lack of customer service also contributed to Toys R Us's collapse. In an attempt to limit expenses, management cut costs. The reduction of expenses led to Toys R Us's letting go of many of its staff. And with most stores being large retail spaces, there were not enough employees to properly assist customers and manage the stores. Online shopping is another contributor to Toys R Us's downfall, and it is a mix of internal and external factors. From the external standpoint, Amazon created a shift in consumer behavior by creating a convenience in online shopping. Online shopping became an experience that customers valued, and Toys R Us failed to understand this. Internally, Toys R Us failed to integrate the technological features of online shopping into their business platform. And when they did finally make a decision to use online shopping, they used Amazon, which led to many consequences, as I previously mentioned. When shopping online for toys, Walmart is a great example of a company that understood what consumers value. They understood that consumers seek convenience through online shopping, so they created different categories. The categories can be shopped by toys, exactly, by brand, or by character. Amazon was also successful in this process on their platform. When shopping online for video games, different categories were created for each gaming system and each genre of games. The final factor that hurt Toys R Us was a shift in how kids chose to play. A new era of video games became the primary source of entertainment for children. Many children desire video games involving dolls, action figures, and other toys. This transition is a force that Toys R Us could not control, but they failed to adapt to this change. Toys R Us still viewed themselves as having a monopoly and felt they did not need to change their business because their reputation was enough. They did not understand that there was a change in what customers viewed as valuable. GTA is an example of a video game that was perceived as highly valuable during its period of promotion and release.
Rockstar Games presents Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Out now on PlayStation 2 and Xbox as part of the double pack with Grand Theft Auto 3. Rated M for mature.
Toys R Us continued to struggle with its sales. As the company was forced to declare bankruptcy in 2017, they filed for a Chapter 2 bankruptcy. This chapter of the bankruptcy code generally provides for reorganization, usually involving a corporation or partnership. In 2018, Toys R Us decided to shutter and liquidate all 700 plus of their stores. During this period, many sales were seen across the country. However, the hope for Toys R Us is not completely gone though. A partnership between Macy's and Toys R Us was announced in August of 2021. Since July, when the rollouts first began, Macy's has installed 451 Toys R Us branded toy shops in its stores. Since its grand opening, these Toys R Us has received positive reports. Macy's stated that reported earnings for the first quarter of 2022, toy sales were 15 times higher than the comparable period prior to Toys R Us's partnership. With this new partnership, Toys R Us has the chance to become a large retailer once again, but only time will tell if Toys R Us can truly make that happen.